In this video, we are going to be talking about the Andromedans. This is just a continued part of my alien species series, and I'm really excited to talk about them. I also want to mention that I went and saw Disclosure Day, so I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that movie too. My name is Catherine. I'm an energy healer, spiritual coach, and nurse practitioner. If you want to work with me, you can go to my website at catherineglassman.com, or you can email me at hello@catherineglassman.com. So I saw Disclosure Day over this past weekend, and I'm going to give you my hot take on it. Okay, so of course, being me, I loved it. I did. I loved it. I will say though that I think if you are anybody who just wants to go see a movie and be entertained and, see a Steven Spielberg movie, I think you might get a little disappointed. And I only say that because of the ending. And I don't know, I can see a lot of people having a problem with this movie. However, for me, I actually loved it. I loved it because there are just so many aspects of it that felt like it's real and that it wasn't a movie at all. It was a message. And I got so emotional in some parts, especially, I'm going to get emotional again, especially in the parts where I'm going to try not to spoil anything, but there is a certain part of the movie where they're showing footage, and that's the part where I started to get choked up. And it's because it felt so, and even though it's just a movie, we should all know by now that movies aren't just movies. They're messages. They are the truth being told in some form to us. And in a way, a lot of movies have been a sense of disclosure. And so and plus there was actually one specific piece of footage that reminded me of my own experience of the massive ship that I saw when I was in Sedona. And it brought me right back to that experience. And I mean, I cried during that experience because it was so validating. So anyway, I loved it. I think if you have ever, had an interest in extraterrestrials or always wondered if there was something out there or like intuitively felt like there's something else going on, I think it would be a movie worth watching. And then especially for those who are going through a spiritual awakening, feel a connection to the cosmos, feel like you are someone who just keeps having things happen to them. They don't understand why, but they feel like there's a connection to, the stars, then I think this movie will actually resonate with you. So I loved it. I would recommend seeing it. But of course, if you're just a human and you're looking to more just be entertained than anything, then it might not be the movie for you. Anyway. So let's talk about the Andromedans. Okay, so as I meditated on the Andromedans, of course, I'm meditating and just asking either for just universal truth about the Andromedans or any alien species that comes from Andromeda, or to actually speak to a Andromedan. And of course, this is all through meditation. So of course, if it resonates, then great. And if not, that's okay too. But what I saw was a blue humanoid being come in, and this being looked very similar to an Octurian, only because that's the only thing that I have to compare at this point in my life with my meditations and my channelings and things like that. I don't have a huge encyclopedia of references within my own mind and my own experiences. And so I'm grabbing from other experiences to just, compare between the two as a point of reference. And so this being looked very similar to the Octurian, which are blue and we kind of have like a gray alien type of head. except this one had a large head, but it had like a like a divot, if that makes sense, like a almost looked like a heart, sort of. That I saw that kind of strongly with this one. I don't know if most, interdimensional beings that have like a gray head appearance to it, if they're shaped like that. I would imagine that they are. They were in the movie, but that's never been so pronounced for me. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. The biggest thing that stuck out with this particular being, I'm assuming that it applies to the most of the Andromedans, is how human the eyes are. They look like our eyes. Like they're not just black, but they actually have, an iris and a pupil. And so that's what I saw. So it almost felt like they were a little bit more relatable in that sense. Like it didn't seem so far off or so extraterrestrial. And the energy was very loving, very calm and serene and quite lovely. I would say that the energy is kind of similar to the Palladians in that sense. Their appearance was similar to the Octurians, but their energy was different. Like the Octurians, from my experience anyway, they are very more about intellect and knowledge and like mathematics. They use a lot of brain and logic to, interact with other species, and that's just their energy as a whole. Whereas the Andromedans felt very heart-centered, still very highly advanced, very intelligent. I got like eighth, ninth dimension kind of vibes, and then almost like kind of like etheric at the same time. Just not, I don't know, they just seem very free or carefree, maybe I should say. Yeah, carefree feels kind of good. It's almost as if they just have so much faith in the universal contracts that everyone is on, that they know that everything will happen the way that it's supposed to happen. And so to just let go of that control and let go of that illusion that you are in the driver's seat of anything, but at the same time, like stay focused on your path. That almost like doesn't make any sense, but it's hard to explain. It's hard for this human to explain, I guess, with my limited brain. But yeah. So one thing that came in pretty strong is there's something about like very large ships. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, when I see large ships in my mind, I feel like they are being controlled, or they are like the captains of these massive motherships are typically Andromedans. I don't know why, but just the super large motherships, like the ones that are just lived on. I feel like the Andromedans have a strong connection with those particular types of ships. And I don't know. I don't think that like just because it's a giant ship that only the Andromedans are steering it. But it does feel like if a very large ship comes into our, atmosphere, I just see like an Andromedan being like steering it. I don't know. That's just what I got. But I think it also does feel that they are quite diplomatic in that sense. They are very good at connecting planets and species within the universe with one another and working as a team while also maintaining sovereignty and freedom within their own right as well. As in like encouraging connection and, peace treaties and things like that, but also maintaining their own space within the universe. Another thing that I saw is them working closely with children. It felt like they have a natural inclination to work with human children or even just the younger offspring of any species. It feels like there's just something about them leading from their heart space and them being highly advanced, highly intelligent, definitely one of the more advanced species in the universe. But and because of that, they have a way of being able to teach younger generations of a species. And so it feels like they are often the leaders of teaching younger generations. I don't know. I just got that connection. I don't, and again, like this isn't just, only Andromedans have big ships and only Andromedans work with children. Of course, that's not the case, but it just feels like there's just a natural link to those activities, I guess. But at the same time, because they lead from their heart space, because they are advanced and highly intelligent, because they seem to have a natural ability to work with children, from what I got is that they actually can be quite playful too. That it almost seems like they just have this carefree attitude. And And so then I asked about starseeds, the human hybrids. And what I got is that one characteristic of an Andromedan starseed is that they are kind of like a carefree, yogi, hippie type of person. Like they're like nomads and travel all around the world with barely any money in their pocket. They just figure it out, and because they just have so much trust that they are going to be taken care of. They don't care what is ahead of them because they know they're going to be fine. That's the vibe that I got. So I definitely see like a person with tattoos and piercings and dreadlocks and just wearing like flowy, yoga type clothing and just like living their life. And, it's, there's just something so liberating about that lifestyle. And I don't know, it just has like, and that's what I'm getting. That's like an Andromedan kind of vibe that I'm getting. And it's not that they are just so carefree. It's just because they are just so high vibrational that they are emphasizing more about the human experience and just experience in general. That no matter what, no matter whether you are on a mission and you are helping the planet and you are, doing this or doing that, by enjoying your experience, by taking it in and absorbing it and really being present within the experience, you are elevating the consciousness and the vibration of the planet and of humanity. And so it's like they're doing it without even trying. And I kind of feel like there's a more inclination of practicing light language too with them. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty that are also like mission driven and therefore are pretty focused on a certain task or a certain goal. And so that's of course, something too, but I don't know. I just get like just an all-knowing, all-loving, like everything is going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to work out sort of vibe. And it's funny because that's kind of that theme was also in the movie Disclosure Day as well, is things just were happening to some of the characters, but they didn't know, but they knew it was going to lead them somewhere. And so they were just going with the flow. That's kind of the vibe that I get. And so, and I definitely feel like if you're drawn to like yoga or just being a nomad. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the vibe that I'm getting, which is nice. I mean, I would like to activate some more of that DNA within me. Honestly, I could use that. I feel like sometimes I get caught up being a little too human, and I don't like that. They definitely do seem to be quite loving and quite very loving and want to assist humans, but at the same time, they respect the growth and the journey and the evolution of humans at the same time. So for them, it's not a rush, it is just a process, and it is one to be fully embraced, fully experienced. Because I think some of us, at least with me for sure, I want to rush the process because I want to get there. But then when I get there, I'm not actually there. You know what I mean? Like you get to a place, but then the goalpost moves, and now you're furthering your journey again. So there is no ending to a journey. And so it feels like their wisdom is to just know that the journey is a bit never ending. So just enjoy where you are in your journey and take a 360 view of your past and the past versions of yourself, the parallel versions of yourself, and the future versions of yourself and the different timelines, and just having a quantum perspective on your path, and to just be happy and grateful for where you are, to give yourself patience and grace, and and just understand that you are a human, sure, but you also chose to be a human. And there must have been a good reason that you decided to be human on planet Earth right now. You could have been anything. You could have been a high vibrational interdimensional being steering a giant ship, or you could have been on a different planet, or you could have been an animal or an etheric being. You could have been anything, but you decided to come to planet Earth. And that's very special. And so if you're going to be here, you should have fun and enjoy it. It's a really special place to be. And if anything, the beings that are watching us from different parts of the universe that aren't necessarily on this planet watch us in awe and are grateful to us and impressed with us. Those of us that choose to be here but not be of this world, that choose to be human but also understand that they have a deep connection to the stars. And it feels like they are thoroughly impressed with that ability, with this ability to be born human, but then to be reborn as this quantum being that surpasses time and space. And it feels like the Andromedans want us to know about their presence, but they don't necessarily want to interfere with our evolution. It feels like they kind of watch us like proud parents, kind of like watching us take our first steps and just imagining just how far as a species we're going to go, not only a species on planet Earth, but just as a species in the universe. We're definitely one of the newer ones, and to see how challenging and how dense this dimension is, how just chaotic and how painful and angry people are, and violent they can be, and it's just so scary and so messy, and just at any turn it can just be a dangerous experience for any of us. And yet we still choose to wake up every day and choose to come from our hearts and speak from our heart and speak and exist from a place of passion and refusing to be limited by our human body, our human condition, our human thinking. As long as we want to continue to evolve and continue to expand ourselves, they are going to be here and they will subtly assist us without interfering. They want to remind us that they have given us many tools already. And I don't know why I keep going back to yoga, but yoga, the chakra system, tools of divination, like all of these tools to help us expand further beyond our human selves. And the more we practice expanding beyond our human selves, we end up expanding the human as a whole. So it's not even about not being human. It's about seeing how far our human can actually go. So if you have ideas, if you have aspirations, if you want to invent something, if you want to create something, if you want to just do something, but you're a little apprehensive, they are definitely saying, don't be afraid. Just do it. Just do it. Not for anyone else, but for you. And you'd be surprised at what you can actually accomplish. And even if you don't accomplish anything in the sense that you think you should accomplish something, you still end up expanding yourself regardless. You learn more things, you broaden your abilities, and you ultimately evolve. And within that process of you growing as an individual, the Andromedans want us to know that they will be here to help. But also just learning to enjoy being a human is a feat within itself. So, yeah, even if you don't have goals, even if you don't have, a place where you want to go, just being able to be a human and to enjoy your life is an accomplishment that many people won't be able to achieve. So, but with that being said, thank you for being here, for watching my content, being a part of my special community. I really appreciate it because it gives me the opportunity to do this. It gives me the opportunity to be spiritual, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. I'm really happy you're here. And of course, if you can, try to see Disclosure Day. Try to see yourself as one of the main characters, because I believe that's what this movie is trying to tell us, is that we are these main characters. So, but I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.